So this week's video, we're going to share with you things not to do
in Pakistan.
So combined, me and Irfan have been in Pakistan over 6 times now. And the last time we went, we spent over 1 month there.
We're Nadia and Irfan, and we've travelled over 40 countries around the world.
We're expecting a little pumpkin in October 2021, and what we're really excited about is this little edition joining our quest, visiting every single country.
So come follow us on our journey while we travel around the globe.
Don't get alarmed, they're not bad things. This is just general things in your day-to-day life when you're in Pakistan that we kind of picked up on and thought it'd be useful sharing with you.
So without further ado, here's things not to do.
What's number 1 then?
So number 1 is don't get offended when people do not want your money.
It's generally quite a normal thing for when foreigners visit Pakistan and try to pay for things. Shopkeepers tend to see you as their guests, and in Pakistan, hospitality and looking after guests, we take this seriously. It's a very, very important thing to us and we hold dearly to our hearts. So in order to look after our guests, we don't charge them for things.
Yeah, and you might see the hand gesture where it's like, you know, it's on me, so it would be polite for you to just put your hand on your chest and say thank you very much, shukriya.
Yeah, so if you do find yourself in this situation, kindly accept it. You know, maybe insist once or twice, you know, please take my money, but I guarantee you they won't. Just say, thank you.
So the next one is I'm going to have to hand it over to Irfan because this guy has changed me since I married him. I was more of a savoury person, but here we go.
Don't fill up on the first course. So if you're invited to someone's house to eat, or even if you go to a restaurant actually.
Yeah, you'd find yourself being served a lot of fried appetizers.
Yeah, so things like pakoras, which we call onion bhajis in the UK for some reason, roast chicken, seekh kebabs. These tend to be samosas, with chutney and yogurt dressings, all that kind of stuff. So these tend to be served as a starter, whether you're at a restaurant or you go to someone's house to eat, or weddings as well. One thing I would advise is to have some, enjoy it, but don't fill up on it because you can easily get carried away because there's more to follow. So generally what happens is the starters come out, things like I said, you have a bit of that chit chat and then the real deal starts. So the main course, things like the curry, the chapatis, the rice, biryani maybe, all that follows after that, and that's where the heavy deal basically breaks. You know, you want to fill up on that kind of stuff and save room for dessert also. That's what I was waiting for.
But yeah, basically top tip, if you don't see bread on the table, you are not having a full meal.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Isn't it?
Yeah, if there's no bread, that's what the main course is, starters.
Yeah.
Or rice. So yeah, wait for the rice, have some curry, don't fill up on the first course, save yourself for some mains and especially dessert.
Lovely, that separate compartment. On to the next one. So guys, don't assume no means
no. So it's something strange and it takes a bit of getting used to, but if someone offers you something, it's generally polite to kindly decline the first time round. So if someone offers you something, you just say no, I'm okay, thank you, and I guarantee you they will insist again. And then, you know, if you want to take it, you know, decline it once or twice, and then you know, all right, go on then, take it. But if you really want to say no, just insist and say, no, I'm okay. Don't be offended if someone keeps offering it. They're not pushing it. It's just generally, you know, our culture actually, if someone offers you something, it's, you know, polite to say no once or twice before you accept it.
Irfan's mum does it all the time to me when I go over to the house. You want a cup of tea? No, I'm okay, thanks. I just had a
have one.
I just had a cup of coffee.
Go on,
no, it's fine. I've just literally left, you know.
You sure?
Yeah, I don't want one.
You sure?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine, it's okay. And then next thing you know, next thing you know, there'll be cups of teas on the table anyway.
Yeah, true.
And then if it's Irfan's mum, she would have literally everything on the table.
Everything on the table.
No, I don't want to mix it. फिर मैं बनाई क्या बनी फिर mix कर सामने ठंडे तो गरम दे
when you say you're not hungry.
But your mum insists. Yeah, it's just a general thing. It's part of that hospitality again. You know, kindly, you know, decline if you really want to. But if you do want to take the item, you know, it's good to decline once or twice and then, you know, all right, go on then.
Yeah, go on then.
Don't be offended if someone doesn't take no for an answer, because they just want to look after you, they want to insist, and you know, it's just the way people are.
Yeah. So the next one is don't go to the monuments on a Sunday. This is because generally the locals visit on the weekends. If you do want to go into monuments, I would suggest definitely go during the weekday where it's a lot quieter and you've got the place near enough more to yourself.
Sunday particularly is always busy. Go on a weekday, and during the morning between 7 and 11 I would say is a good time to go to monuments and sightseeing and all that kind of stuff. Friday is considered to be a weekend in Pakistan, generally speaking. That's because Friday is one of the holy days every single week. People generally either don't open their shops on a Friday or close down for a few hours between 10 up until 2, maybe 11 till 2 to go home and get ready for Friday prayers. So don't be surprised if things are closed, you know, kind of Friday afternoon.
It's kind of like the equivalent of a church on a Sunday, but you go to the mosque on a Friday. So moving on to the next one is when visiting a mosque or just in general walking around in Pakistan, I would highly recommend covering your leg. So do not wear shorts.
Yeah, I think this one just is generally one of those things when you're out in, say, Pakistan and other Muslim countries, is out of respect for the local culture and the religion, just cover up. And that's, you know, for guys, don't wear shorts when you go into mosque. Girls, you know, cover up.
Yeah, even for guys and girls.
Yeah, it goes for both.
You can even get one of those lovely try out the Pakistani dresses with shalwar kameez, which is lovely like material. I loved wearing it when he was in Pakistan because he found it more comfortable.
It's
walking around in the
in Pakistan all I wore was shalwar kameez most of the time because it's light, it's comfortable, it's breathable material, and it's just baggy, and it's just keeps you very cool during the hot summer's day. And because you've got to get out and about the car, you sit down on the floor sometimes to eat, and in jeans is quite restrictive and in trousers quite restrictive. So shalwar kameez is made in such a way, it's nice and baggy, so you sit down on the floor when you go to pray in the mosque, you know, it's just very easy. So yeah, definitely buy yourself a pair, go to the local markets or just get a pair sewn, bespoke, tailored to you. It's very inexpensive. You know, I think I paid about £15 for a really good quality. And if you do want to wear just normal clothes, you know, long trousers, a t-shirt for guys and girls, if you're visiting the mosque, it's good to keep a, what would you say, a shawl with you so you can cover your...
shawl or a scarf or something to cover your head with.
Yeah,
just to show a bit of respect, and obviously don't go into the mosque with your shoes on. Take your shoes off. You'll generally get the gist of that anyway because you'll see everyone taking their shoes off before entering the mosque. So this one was a bit of a shock to me the first time I left the UK and the first time I visited Pakistan.
This one shocked me as well.
Don't be alarmed when the lights go off.
And they go out frequently. Especially
in the villages, in the area that my mum and dad grew up in, the electric it's just so used to, everyone's just used to it. It'll just disappear during the day or in the evenings at night.
Yeah, there's a term in Pakistan that you should familiarise yourself with, and it's called load shedding. And that's a term used when electricity in the local area is basically switched off and it's controlled by the power grid. And that's really to control the electricity supply across the country, which means turning the electricity off at random times during the day. Depending on where you are, it can be in the morning, afternoon, or in the evening. So you could ask some of the locals around, you know, when the electricity is planned to go off, because there generally tends to be a pattern in different regions. So if you're staying at a hotel or a guest house or someone that you know, just ask them, is there any load shedding going on in this area? And they'll be able to tell you roughly what time. It's never exact, but it's good to know in advance so that you don't catch yourself out. A lot of hotels, shopping malls and the cities, all the outfits and all the places are fitted out with either generators that run on diesel as backup electricity or UPS, which is a backup electricity system. So if the electricity does go out, then the backup generator or the UPS kicks in for an electricity supply.
Just make sure you've got yourself a flashlight or maybe your iPhone light or phone light on you.
I would say pack a flashlight, pack a strong flashlight just in case. Moving on to the next one is don't travel to the north by plane.
Okay, so guys,
we have first-hand experience. 3 attempts in total we made to fly from Islamabad to the northern region of Pakistan, which is Hunza Valley, Gilgit and Skardu, and 3 times it got cancelled.
the first time we do Skardu and then we got cancelled.
Skardu cancelled first.
And then the second time we thought, okay, well, let's go Gilgit because that was the next available flight. That was also cancelled due to weather conditions. And this is normal when you're in Pakistan.
And then the third flight, that also got cancelled as well.
Yeah.
And it was at that point we thought, right, we're making it by road now.
Yeah, and it was a 20-hour journey by road. Just be prepared, it is a long journey, but it was an adventurous journey and one of the best memorable journeys I've ever had.
Yeah, it was hands down the most amazing experience I've ever had when travelling long distances, and we've done some really, really, really long journeys over the years. And
especially in South America.
To this day, when I think of Pakistan, it puts a massive smile on my face purely because of this adventure that we went on.
Yeah, we were seeing so many waterfalls, we were just drinking fresh mountain water from the side of the roads.
We stopped off and we met some amazing people that looked after us and gave up their house for us for the night. Stopped off at some amazing roadside cafes and restaurants to eat.
That breakfast place.
Oh man, the most beautiful food ever, and I'm just closing my eyes picturing it now. But we wouldn't have witnessed all of that if we simply just got a flight across to the northern region. So by our flights being cancelled, it was a good thing really, because we got to experience it.
But I would say, if you can, try get the flight. Always try, because on the way back, it was one of the most beautiful airports I would say in the world.
Oh yeah, Gilgit Airport is the most beautiful airport I think you'd ever witness.
Just surrounded by snow-capped mountains, and it's a 40-minute journey from Gilgit to Islamabad.
By plane.
And it was beautiful.
Do what we did. We went by road and then flew back.
Yeah, so try both, but just give yourself time, expect cancellations.
Yeah.
Get yourself there, and then you can always figure a way back.
Yeah, and even when you're planning your trip by road, expect delays in roadblocks, overnight stays in random places, and just, Google Maps says it's a 10-hour journey and it took us 28 hours in total. That's because we had to stop overnight. There were some parts of the road which were damaged, so it was a really bumpy ride and the car went really slowly. So just kind of times it by 2 and then give yourself extra time as well.
Okay, so moving on to the next one, guys, is
don't use your left hand when doing certain day-to-day activities. So things like eating food, don't use your left hand. That goes for when you're holding your fork or your spoon. I know in the West here, we're taught to hold the spoon in our left hand, the fork in your left hand and the knife in your right hand, but it's the opposite in Pakistan, or actually any Asian country or Muslim country you go to. When handing money over to a cashier, taking money from someone, shaking someone's hand, all these things, general day-to-day things, use your right hand. Why should we use our right hand?
Because the left hand is known for toilet duties.
Yeah, so the left hand is used to do impure activities like washing your backside after you have a pee or a poo. So everything else should be done with your right hand. So the next thing on the list is don't travel by road during the day in Ramadan. If you find yourself in Pakistan during the month of Ramadan, don't be surprised if everything has completely slowed down or even come to a halt during the day. And that's because during the month of Ramadan, Muslims can't eat from dusk right till dawn.
I would probably suggest maybe do it at night once the fast is open, and the local people have got more energy, and generally the shops are open till late. So you might find things a lot quieter, a lot slowed down if you're travelling during the month of Ramadan.
So plan things the opposite way around in the month of Ramadan. And the next one is, and I would say really a top tip, is don't just come for 1 or 2 weeks. Take some time out and come for an extended period of time, because there's lots to do in Pakistan and lots to see.
Yeah, so you could probably do things in 2 weeks. Go Islamabad, Lahore, maybe to the northern region, but there's always stuff that you'd find or you want to discover, especially in the northern parts. You might want to spend a little bit more extra time. So if you've got a month's visa, we'd definitely suggest staying for the whole month, taking things nice and slow travel. You're going to meet people along the way, other travellers, and there's just such a diverse region, so you'd always find something to do. So we would definitely recommend going for at least 4 weeks. If at a push, maybe give yourself 3 weeks.
Just a bit more of a slow pace, staying overnight in a couple of regions and just exploring the surroundings a bit more. So take as much time as you can out and explore everything diverse culture and landscapes Pakistan has to offer.
Okay guys, so the last thing on our list. Do not be surprised if you are at a checkpoint and a security driver or security guard is coming into the car and filming everyone's faces.
Yes, I noticed that.
Yeah, especially when we used to cross over from the Islamabad checkpoint from your village going into Islamabad. We would always get stopped, whether you're in a bus, whether you're in a taxi, whether you're in a car, private car, you'd probably get stopped. They'll record you, and don't be alarmed because this is just for security purposes.
Yeah, it's basically a record of who you are as an individual going onto the motorway. So it generally happens when you're going from the local roads onto the motorway where people drive at high speeds, and it's really to keep a record of who's going in and out of the motorway. So if for whatever reason, and we hope this doesn't happen, there's an accident involved and they identify the car, then they say, right, these people were actually in that car, in case there's, you need it for hospital records or whatever that is. So it's really for your security to make sure that everything is fine, just in case some kind of unfortunate event happens later down the line.
Yeah.
And actually, we saw this practice in South America as well, didn't we?
Yes, we did, yes. So we did see that in South America.
Yeah.
So guys, that's the end of our don'ts in Pakistan. We will be uploading shortly our do's in Pakistan, so keep your eyes out for that one. We hope you found it useful.
If you've got any questions, put them down in the comments below and we'll definitely get back to you. And that could be anything related to Pakistan. If you have any general questions around what to do, what not to do, all that kind of stuff, just put it in the comments.
Give us a thumbs up, give us the video a like if you found it useful. It does actually help the channel grow.
And definitely hit that subscribe button if you found this content useful.
Follow your visions.
The field of visions.